Welcome to Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Today is June 27, 2026. We're going to be talking about Friday Night Smackdown because, ladies and gentlemen, Night of Champions starts at 1 o'clock where I live in Canada, where I live in Toronto. Let's say Toronto, because Vancouver gets like at 10 a.m. I'm not watching no wrestling at 10 a.m., man. I had to take care of a dog all day and all that stuff. So ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking about Friday Night Smackdown, and then we're going to talk about Night of Champions, maybe later on tonight, or on Sunday, and then you got a whole bunch of other things happening on Sunday. We got a lot of wrestling happening on this weekend, but I can't wait until we get this DLC. I want the DLC. I want the Hardys, man. I want the Hardys so bad. But ladies and gentlemen, they did give you, they did have a new My Faction pack where you get the old Joe Gacy. Here, let me look at it. I don't know who's in it. I don't know, old Joe Gacy that's in the pack. So let me go check it on here. Some reason, every time I want to go on my game, I had to wait for a whole minute. Every time I watch wrestling on my Netflix, and I try to play the game after, it tells me, wait for a whole minute, and then you can play the game. I'm like, what? Why am I going to do that now? So I've been waiting for a whole minute every time I use my my Xbox, like for YouTube, Netflix, and then if I want to play the game after, I just wait for a whole minute, and then, because some reason my game doesn't like me. Because every time I've used one of my made-up arenas, like I got an old school NXT, I got a whole bunch of old school arenas, but every time I play them, the apron is blurry, and it's like 205 Live blurry, and it's very annoying. Because I want to do the whole show with the apron I have, not freaking blurry 205 Live. Sometimes sometimes all the logos doesn't show up even on the announce table. It's very annoying. All the Titantrons are fine. It's just whatever's around the ring is not fine, and it's very annoying. I got Lucha Underground and it has freaking 205 Live logo. So I'm hoping that this thing, whatever I'm doing here, the whole minutes, doesn't makes it happen. I have no idea. I haven't had really a problem with it now since I'm doing the whole minute. Alright, so in this pack we have the Alphabet All-Star pack. When did we turn into a kindergarten? But ladies and gentlemen, this is what the pack gives you, this DLC, Alphabet All-Stars pack. It gives you Undertaker 1990s, Bailey, Mutiny attire Bailey, Mutiny attire Kevin Owens. You get the Lara Valkyria 2024. You get a Joe Gacy from 2023. Nikki Cross from 2023. Is that it? And that's it. And if you collect all the wrestlers here, maybe I could show you guys. That's trying not to give you guys my gamer name. I don't need you guys bugging me about things. So if you guys collect Undertaker 90, I think you guys can see that. Undertaker 90, Axe and Crush from the pack, you get a Randy Orton 2015. That's only if you collect them. I don't really care for, the only ones I care for in this pack is, I care for, I know these two are attires, the Mutiny ones. They're attires. I know that. I care about Lara Valkyria for my independent wrestling, and I could maybe put her in NXT UK. And Joe Gacy, I would like Joe Gacy. I would like Nikki Cross. And everybody else, Undertaker 90, I got a whole bunch of Undertakers. I got a whole we don't really care about Mutiny, Bailey, or Kevin Owens. We get them, we get them. And the other one I was talking, I want to get, we got the Art of War pack. What does this want to give me is the Rhea Ripley 2017. That's what I want. I'm using the current Rhea Ripley for my NXT UK. I don't want to do that. I want the Rhea Ripley 2017. And we got the Becky Lynch 2017. I'm using the current Becky Lynch on my old school where I could use the old school Becky Lynch. I already got the 2022 Carmelo Hayes. That was an easy one to get. But Natalya doesn't give me a year, so I think it's going to be a Natalya. I don't think it's going to be a year. Because mostly every time you get these Persona cards, they give you a year. This Natalya doesn't give you a year. Here, let me show you. That Natalya right there. I don't think that Natalya gives you... that one doesn't give you a year, so I think it's an attire. And you got this, I don't really need another solo. I got the other old school solo that actually is not wearing a suit. So, yeah, and if you want to collect all of those ones to get, I don't know who you get, the Art of War. You get Cody Rhodes, the bruised Cody Rhodes. If you collect Goldberg, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Solo Sikoa Tribal Chief. So that's that, and I'm hoping I could get these guys, and if the packs run out, it will be on the card market, but there's going to be a lot of points I had to get. This is why I can't wait for the DLC, because they always give you a whole bunch of points and my faction cards to get what you need. So I'm hoping that's what I get, and then I could buy a whole bunch of packs, and maybe if they're expired, the packs expired, and they come to the card market, and I got enough points to get a couple of them. That's what I want. That's why I care about the ringside pass. That it gives you a whole bunch of my faction stuff, my faction points, or packs, and sometimes when you get these packs, and you have doubles, or you always get the same ones, you get a lot of points when you get the same cards. Like if I got a gold Bailey, and in that pack, it gives me a gold Bailey, I get a whole bunch of points. But I think if it's like a bronze, you don't get a lot of points. You might get 100 points. But if it's something big like Sapphire or Emerald, you get a lot of points. And if it's something like, oh, you already got this major pack one, not like the gold something, like the Arc of War. If you got the same one of that, that's a lot of points. If you got the same one of that. So if I get a Carmelo Hayes, because I already have a Carmelo Hayes, but if it gives me a Carmelo Hayes, I get a lot of points. I got the Tribal Chief Solo Sikoa. If I get that, I get a lot of points. So that's what I really want to get. That's why I want this DLC. I want my Hardys. I want the Hardys. I want Lady Shani because it helps the AAA. I don't have a lot of AAA women's superstars to go for the Reina Championship. Thank God there's not a lot of women's matches that happen on my weekly AAA show. Thank God for that. But I don't have a lot of them. So Lady Shani kind of helps the add of the women's division of the AAA. So I can't wait for that. And she helps my NXT UK because I don't think she's from... What I'm doing with my NXT UK, this is different. Internationally, people. Like UK, Canada. Well, I don't know what else is there. But if you're from the United States, you don't go to the United Kingdom. You had to be internationally. We got a lot of people there. And we got BCW. We got NXT Muni for the United States superstars. So, yeah. That's what I do. That's what I do. And I'm hoping we get good Persona cards. That's what I'm hoping. We get some good Persona cards. I could use all the Persona cards I got from the last one. I'm not using them right now because I already have a Rey Mysterio in my old school. I got a Kane already. Brock Lesnar, I put him in NXT. Why not? The 03 Brock Lesnar. But the only... please don't do the Borderlands thing again. Please don't do that. No other video game collab. Please, man. I know they did a lot of collabs with other video games like Call of Duty, Gears of War, Fortnite. I don't need those type of wrestlers. My dog is playing with his toy. It sounds weird. We don't need that type of wrestlers. We want actual wrestlers. We don't want Borderlands CM Punk. If you're going to give me a CM Punk, give me a CM Punk that I actually care for. Not a Borderlands CM Punk. What the heck am I supposed to do with that? I have them in my BCW, and you know how weird it is having a Rhea Ripley using a mechanic legs to walk into the on the stage. It's weird. And seeing Becky Lynch fly like she's a phoenix or a bird with big giant wings, it's weird. CM Punk kind of has a normal entrance. But some reason Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch has the craziest dang entrance. That's why I want to get the old school Rhea Ripley, get the old school frickin' Becky Lynch, that we could get rid of those and put those ones in there. Because it's very annoying. I'm saying that my wrestler is facing a robot, because she is a robot. For some reason, the robot bleeds. I don't like it. I didn't like those Persona cards. I'm okay with the other Persona cards. I don't care if it's old school. I don't care if it's different. 2 years ago, like Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy is 2023 version. I don't give a razz about that. I know that's not 2 years ago, right? 3 years ago. But I don't care, but I actually could use them. He doesn't do anything crazy. So yeah, I'm hoping that we get something better than that with these Persona cards that comes with the DLC. I'm hoping. But I think there is Trish Stratus 2000 will be in it. They showed us that one. But they're not showing us anything else. Maybe it's not on the beginning of July. Maybe that's why. It's not on the beginning of July. Nobody leaked it. A lot of people are upset about this episode of Friday Night Smackdown because this thing was leaked. Everything that was part of this show got leaked, and everybody is upset about it. Because everybody's seen it. Because every time you go scroll on your social media, it's there. So it was a good show. It was a good episode, but I knew what was going to happen. So let's talk about the segments. We got a lot of segments here. We got LA Knight segment. We got a Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, and Gunther segment. But that was on the end of the show. But we got LA Knight came to SmackDown, and he wants answers from Solo Sikoa. But I will tell you guys why he wants answers from Solo Sikoa and what's going on. Let's get to this segment first. In backstage, Tama Tonga and Tala Tonga is upset with Solo. Because this whole thing, his obsession with Roman Reigns and the bloodline is getting annoying. And now, ladies and gentlemen, they don't want to be part of it, so they're out. They're out the MFTs. Well, I think they're still MFTs, but they're not with Solo Sikoa. Solo is upset about that, and ladies and gentlemen, LA Knight wants some answers. Because Solo helped LA Knight win his match on Raw. He did a Samoan Spike on Jimmy Uso. So he called out Solo Sikoa, and LA Knight wants to know that because what happened with your family, are you going to run back to the bloodline? He said no. He hates the bloodline. He hates Jimmy. He hates Jay. He hates Roman. He hates Jacob. That's what Solo said. He said he hates all of them, and then he offered an alliance with LA Knight to face the bloodline. LA Knight said no. He doesn't want it. He wants to do. He knows the numbers is too much, but he always does things by himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, LA Knight said no to that. So, and then Royce Keys laughed at him. And Royce Keys told Solo, you know, Jacob Batu is coming after you. And Solo says, so you're going to help me? Royce Keys says, good luck. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Trick Williams segment to start off the show. And, ladies and gentlemen, he wasn't on Smackdown last week because he was getting married. He got married to Lash Legend, and he was at his wedding. That's why he didn't show up on Smackdown last week. But, ladies and gentlemen, he did find out who his number contender is Ricky Saints. And he has some things to say about Ricky Saints. And Ricky Saints comes out, and he has some things to say to Trick Williams. Lil Yachty got involved, and then Ricky not happy about that. So, after what Ricky said to Trick Williams, he just slaps Lil Yachty in the face, and he runs away. But when Trick Williams was trying to help Lil Yachty up, Ricky Saints runs back in the ring and attacks Trick Williams with the microphone, and he ran away again. He's scared. So let's see what happens in that match at Night of Champions. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a tag team match. Beat Bab and Meechin versus Tiffany Stratton and Alexa Bliss. Bliss doesn't have a partner anymore because of what happened to Charlotte Flair getting a tag on her leg because of Beat Bab, Meechin, and Jade Cargill. And a little bit of Liv Morgan as well. So she has to choose Tiffany Stratton to team up with her because Tiffany has a problem with them as well. It was a pretty decent tag team match, but the winner of that match, with a little help of Jade Cargill, was Beat Bab and Meechin getting the win. And then it looks like it wasn't done there until Chelsea Green comes out and saves the day for Tiffany Stratton and Alexa Bliss. She actually did it. She got rid of Meechin, Beat Bab, and Jade Cargill. And Tiffany Stratton actually was happy with Chelsea Green and hold her arm up. Chelsea Green might be turning good. Jade Cargill ran to Nick Aldis as she wants Chelsea Green on SmackDown. And he gave it to her. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think this was the best match of the night. The AAA Cruiserweight Championship. Ray Phoenix versus Nathan Frazier. Oh my God, it was a great match. I enjoyed it. I'm hoping we get to see more of these great AAA Cruiserweight Championship matches. SmackDown doesn't really have a lot of Cruiserweights. I know one, and that's Johnny Gargano, but he is planking on stuff still, and still has to listen to Sami Zayn complain and complain and complain. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it was an awesome match. I enjoyed it. Back and forth, these guys put the winner of that match, and still the AAA Cruiserweight Champion, Ray Phoenix. What are you doing, Pop? What are you doing? Did you lose something? Well, ladies and gentlemen, Paige had a match in her hometown of London. And she faced Jacy Jane. It was a pretty okay match. It was pretty okay. But the winner of that match, because the Fatal Ambulance gets involved, Brie Bella gets involved, everybody gets involved, the winner of that match was Paige. Paige gets the win. And ladies and gentlemen, we got Danhausen coming to the ring. People are a little upset with him because he did steal money from Dominic and JD, but JD got electrocuted. But Berto and Angel did not get electrocuted, so Danhausen came to the ring with his little zombies with The Miz and Kit Wilson. So I guess he has his own little posse. And then Berto and Angel came out, and it looks like they took out the zombies, Kit Wilson and The Miz. They weren't no help. And then Matt Cardona came out to save Danhausen. Nick Aldis made a match. Tag team match between Matt Cardona teaming up with Danhausen to versus Berto and Angel Las Garza. Remember, they were supposed to be in a great faction in AAA, and now they're in a match with Danhausen. It was a pretty decent match. Of course, they lost focus because they saw Kit Wilson and Miz walking around like zombies. So Angel and Berto attack Kit Wilson, throwing him over the barricade. And at the end, you see Angel wants to end this, trying to destroy Danhausen. So he grabs a chair, but Miz was in the way. He was walking like a zombie in Angel's way. And Angel was about to whack Miz with the steel chair, but there's Kit Wilson behind the barricade where the timekeeper is, grabbing the chair. And then, ladies and gentlemen, he got attacked by Matt Cardona with the Rough Rider. And ladies and gentlemen, we got the pyro thing again when Berto was about to jump out the turnbuckle. You are cursed. And then the pyro just went off onto Berto into his butt. And he fell off the dang turnbuckle. And it looked like Dan Nelson doing the Scorpion Death Drop to get the win. Next, we got Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green. Didn't last long. The winner of that match was Jade Cargill. And then, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't done there. They were about to attack Chelsea Green more until Tiffany Stratton and Alexa Bliss came out and made everybody run away. B-Fab and Meechin. And our main event, Julia versus Kiana James. They were friends, they were partners, business partners, and now they hate each other. It was a pretty decent match. People say it was a great match, but I say the AAA Cruiserweight Championship match was a great match. But it was a pretty decent match. It was pretty decent. In the beginning, I was questioning it, but almost at the end, it was pretty good. The winner of that match was Julia. I'm surprised that was our main event. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got Cody Rhodes coming out. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Sammy, he had a whole bunch of things to say about Night of Champions, but he didn't really get to talk because Sami Zayn comes out and he wants to apologize. He wants to do this. This is not how you wanted it. But Cody told him to shut up. And this is what you wanted. This is how you want to get to the WWE title. You're in a WWE Championship match at Night of Champions. You scheme your way in. Sammy just keeps acting like he's a victim of everything. And Cody told him in his face. And he brought up Kevin Owens. Because he says there's two differences between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens will tell Cody in his face. And he will not betray him behind, at the back. He will betray him in front. And Sami says, don't talk about Kevin Owens. Didn't you have like a street fight with him? I don't think Kevin really likes you very much. That time. You try to end your career. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Gunther came out and he wants to know what's going on with the drama and all this stuff. He has some things to say about Sammy. Sammy is not a threat for him and all that stuff. And then he said to Cody that you screwed me twice. I'm going to win the title. And then we had a brawl between Sammy, Gunther, and Cody Rhodes. Like, Jey Uso came out first and said he's going to win it. He says, you're my friend, Cody, but you have a warning. Sammy, you're my friend, you have a warning. But Gunther doesn't have a warning because he's going to do the same thing what he did at WrestleMania. Like he did at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight title, but it will be for the WWE title this time. When he wins the King of the Ring. And then, ladies and gentlemen, a whole bunch of things happened. Gunther attacking, Sami Zayn attacking, Cody Rhodes attacking, Jey Uso attacking. Everybody was doing crazy things. And then here comes Obafemi. Jey Uso was in the ring with Cody Rhodes. And when Oba got onto the apron, you got Jey Uso doing a super kick. Gunther doing his finisher. Sami did his finisher. Cody Rhodes did his finisher. And Cody Rhodes had to stare down with Obafemi. Because these guys had a match on a couple months ago at Saturday Night's Main Event. But because it was a disqualification because of Drew McIntyre, they have an unfinished business. Let's see what happens at Night of Champions in a couple hours, like 2 hours away. So let's see what happens. That's all me today. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I will see you guys earlier tonight, or Sunday morning. That's all me today, or Sunday. I don't know, it's going to be the morning. Sunday. See you guys at time. Bye.